Now let's see an example of the variable in order to understand better. This command will take the user input and store it as a variable password. So as you can see, password equal the input, and then we open the brackets and the quotes and we put the prompt inside. So now when you run the program, you will see the word enter the password. When the user writes the password will be saved inside the variable. That means we now saved the variable inside the memory and we called it password. So this variable is called password, and whatever input the user types will be stored in the variable. For example, if the user inputs hello12, that means that is the password hello12 and it is stored in the variable. Now let's talk about naming variables because that is very important. You can choose any name for a variable, but it is important that the name you choose reminds you of what data the variable stores. So for example, if we want to input a password, then it's best to name the variable password and not anything else. So this will make your program easier to write and easier for other people to understand because you may use a lot of variables. When choosing a variable name, number one, the name must not include spaces. Use only letters, numbers, and the underscore character. Do not include spaces means that do not press on the space bar here on the keyboard. Number two, whether you use upper or lowercase letters is your own decision. Declaring variables. So what is declaring variables? In some programming languages, you have to make the variable before you can use it. This is called declaring the variables. In Python, you do not need to declare a variable before you use it. The variable is declared when you first use it. To summarize, the Python command shown here does two things. So, the example that you see here, password equal input, and then we have the brackets and the quotes and enter the password, which is the prompt. Number one, it declares a variable called password, so where we are going to save it. Number two, it puts the user input into the variable. Now let's talk about output a variable. So you can also output a variable using the print command. Look at this example. This is how you can output a variable. Print two brackets and then you write the password inside. However, you must be careful because when you output a variable, you do not put quote marks around the variable name. As you can see, we wrote password without the quote marks. So if we wrote it like this, it will print the word password. It will not print the input saved by the user inside the variable which is called password. So you don't want the computer to print the word password. You want it to show the data that is stored in that memory location. You can combine a string and a variable in the same output command. So let's see how together. First of all, put a comma in between them. So as you can see here, we have the command print, and then we have your password is. This is the string. And then we have a comma, and we have the variable which is password. So first of all, we have the string, and then we have the variable password which has the user's data stored inside of it. Let's see this example together in order to understand better. First of all, we put commands just to remember what the program is talking about. Now we are printing strings on the screen. Here we asked the user to enter a password and we saved it under the variable name password. And finally, we have the print command with the string your password is, then we have a comma, and then we have the variable which is password. Notice the idle shows the variable name in black text. So we previously agreed that the idle shows the variable name in black text, and as you can see here, the variables are in black text.